Hi there, Good Word fam. It is Tisha Lewis, and you are watching The Good Word. Let's get started. A very familiar face is joining us for this episode. JJ Hairston, Grammy award-winning gospel singer, pastor. I am so excited about this. I feel like I've had several conversations up, and I say, "Oh, I have him on The Good Word." And here you are on The Good Word.
Thank you. So
We are honored to have you. You have so much amazing things going on. First and foremost, for folks who are watching and they see this familiar face, they hear the familiar name. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
my name is JJ. I happen to be a pastor and a gospel artist. I have been recording gospel music for 25 years now, and we've had several awards and nominations, as mentioned, and we're so grateful for that. My greatest assignment and my greatest joy is the family that I have. I'm married. I've been married for wow. Uh, 30 years. Wow. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, we've been, and my wife her name is Trina Hairston. We pastor a church together. We have three kids, and we pastor a church together in Capitol Heights, Maryland, called the Gathering Place DC. And we're just so honored at what God is doing for us and through us.
Well, we are honored to have you here on The Good Word. You have so much talent. In addition to wearing your pastor hat, which I know is a big hat, you have also taken the music industry and the gospel music industry by storm. And a lot of your music really resonates with young people. And I feel like that is something that is so timely, especially right now.
Absolutely. We started as a teen choir. We were literally 13, 14 years old when we started singing. So naturally, our inclination and our first audience was young people. And throughout all of these years, it's continued, and we're so grateful. Right now, even though we have kids that are adults, we are still ministering and serving at youth conferences. And this season is really hectic, especially October season, because all the homecomings were there. And it's just because young people need to have something to look forward to. They need hope. They need something to feel or make them feel joyful. And thankfully, our music is able to do that because it is the good news.
You mentioned young people and the youth choir, and I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out my home church that I grew up in, Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church,
Oh,
with Bishop
yeah.
Alfred A. Owens and co-pastor Susie C. Owens. And I know that Rodney Carter and his lovely wife have stepped in and taken over, but I sang in YCC, Youth Concert Choir.
Yeah.
And we had our choreography intact, and we thought that we were recording albums and all that good stuff. And that was a time when the church was always open. And
Yes.
I lived at church. I was there, and people who listen and watch the Good Word series know this. I lived at church and we were there all the time, and I grew up in the choir. There is something that I noticed though, and I'm so happy that we have you on so we can chat about this before we also talk about some other great things. Is that I feel like the churches have praise teams now, but you don't see really the choirs as much.
Yeah, so we went through a season where a lot of churches migrated to praise teams because of the aesthetic, and all the churches blacked out the fronts, and they went to lights, looking
Right.
to have a more camera ready focus or camera ready appeal. And now we look just as professional as some of the counterparts. So there are some churches I could show you right now. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and a rock concert. And it's amazing.
Wow.
I'm
Wow. Yeah.
so I'm so grateful that what we do for God is also at the same level of professionalism as what's happening in the world, because it should be, right?
Mhm.
But what we have also recognized in the last couple of years is that the choir is still necessary, because there is no sound that's lifted like when you have 50 people, 30 to 50 people singing together, moving together, worshiping together, fellowshipping together. It's just it's such a lost, it was such a lost sense of community that I'm so grateful that churches have gone back to. And churches like yours, I remember seeing the Great Mount Calvary choirs sing, and we've sang there many times, and I've always enjoyed the directress there. She's very animated. She's awesome. And I think that so many other choirs have been able to lift that sound and inspire so many people because choir music is necessary, which is why we have a choir.
Which is so wonderful. I always feel nostalgic when I see choirs, especially youth choirs. So I want to chat about the 11th annual Ubiquitous Women's Expo. You were going to be there. I'm probably going to stop by. It's going to be my first time attending.
Good.
But tell us what's in store and what's the message behind this Women's Expo?
So I Saturday is going to be like a straight up party, from what I understand. Dougie Fresh is going to be there. He's going to really get people going. But then on
September
Sunday,
7th.
yeah, September 7th. And then that Sunday, there's a young man named Travis Malloy and I who will be coming together to lead the women in worship and word. Travis Malloy is the co-writer of the song Nobody Greater, which is like
Mm,
one of the most
mm,
popular songs in the country. And of course, we'll
yes.
be to get together, and I'll be sharing a brief word of encouragement to the women, and then we'll be also singing. I'm so grateful that the organizers of this expo have recognized how important it is to include faith in these types of environments and in these types of events, because more often than not, people recognize the need to promote self promotion and getting yourself together and getting your head together. But you can't do any of that, I believe, without the help of God. So they've set a time aside where we can help to encourage people in their faith. And that's what we're going to be doing on Sunday, September 7th. And I'm just so excited because I get the opportunity to minister to women. And as much as, of course, I'm a man, I got a wife, I got two daughters, and I want to make sure I deposit into them the same information, the same encouragement that I give to my daughters. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was just about to ask you, this is a women's gathering, but how important is it for you as a man to be a part of this women's gathering?
You know, it's important because sometimes the affirmation that men need to give women goes silent in these types of environments. Public environments, they're usually separated. Like you have men's functions and you have women's functions. Sometimes men need to be encouraged by women. Say, hey, we appreciate you. We love what you're doing. You are necessary. And definitely men to women, we need to encourage and say, we thank you for what you've done. You are the Eve. You are who
Mm,
not only have you birthed a nation, but you have kept us going. You are consistent. You are relevant, and you are
mm.
necessary. So that's what I have the opportunity to do at the Ubiquitous Expo, not to limit or downplay women, but to encourage them and let them know how important they are for us. Where would we be if it wasn't for the women? So I'm so excited about this opportunity.
I love that. I love that, especially the part where it says you are necessary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think that's going to be so amazing. Like I said, I've never been. I'm going to do my best to try to stop by. So when people walk in and versus when they walk out, what is it that you feel like they're going to take away with them?
I think they're going to take away encouragement, hope, a new level of trust. Because in a season like we're in today, a lot of people have declined in their ability to trust.
Mm,
Because it's like, hey, everything is changing. What is consistent? Who is consistent? What can I really depend on? And what
right.
we really want to do is show everyone in the building that there is someone you can depend on, and that's who we'll be preaching about, singing to, worshiping, dancing for. All of that will be happening at the expo, where we get to celebrate the only truly dependable source in the world.
Now more than ever, and it's something that we hear over and over and over again. It's become cliche a little bit, but it is very, very true. We are navigating uncertain times.
Sure,
We are in unprecedented times.
sure.
People, are navigating unemployment. We are navigating mental health crises. We are navigating underemployment. Um, what would be your message of hope for so many people that find themselves in situations and circumstances that they have never experienced before?
So there's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen." I know right now you don't see the end. You don't see a positive result in what you're experiencing. How could it be? How could you lose a job after years and think that this could be a positive thing? But what we believe is because of our faith, we're able to see past what we see. We have hope because the faith is the hope for things, for it's the substance things hope for. I hope for a good result. I hope for better results for my family. I hope for a positive environment that's safe and secure and loving and prosperous. These are the things we hope for. You may not see it, but we hope for it. And if you really can boost your faith, you'll start to see what you're hoping for in spite of what you're seeing around you. That's my encouragement.
Mm.
That's my word of wisdom for you. Don't just depend on what you see, but you have to depend on what you hope.
How does one build their faith?
Yeah. The Bible says, now, not to make this a sermon,
The
but
Bible
it says
says.
faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So, and I know we can't be too religious, but I will say, in a time where everything is uncertain, like you said, you have to lean on something that is certain. And that's the word. So you got to start studying. You got to start praying, and believe it or not, our prayers don't have to be super long, super religious. You can just really be honest with God about where you are, what you feel, and what you need. And he will meet you at the point of your need, and you'll
Mm.
start to build your faith, knowing that he's going to do what you asked him to do.
I think so many times people think that everything has to be so formal, right?
Yes.
And that it has to take place within the walls of the church home. And while many of us became very comfortable worshiping at home with
Hmm.
online church services during COVID, um, I think the gift that was birthed out of that is that you can worship and have this faith walk wherever you are.
Wherever you are. I think that here's the issue. When during the pandemic, we said, "Hey, everybody, you can be in your home, you can pray, you can worship, and the same experience you have in the building, you can have at home." But now that
Right.
we're back in the
Right.
building, we've forgotten that you can still have that same experience at home. So, and you let me say this. You can't say, "Hey, I eat 7 times a day, but I only spend time with God once a week." It doesn't make sense.
Mm,
So, in as much as you have a normal regimen for how you eat, how you work, how you wake, and how you sleep, you should have some type of discipline for the time you spend with God. And it doesn't have to be super
mm.
deep. It doesn't have to be like, like I spend an hour and a half every day. Just some time where you can say, not only did I talk to my family, but I talked to him. And I promise you, the more
Mm.
you talk to him, the more you study, the more you depend on what he said, the more you'll start to feel your faith come back.
That's incredible. So, you talk at the very beginning, we talked about, you said you're married for 33 years, which is incredible, and you have three children. Do your kids think you're cool? Do they know that you're a superstar?
Oh, so funny. My oldest son has been with us throughout the whole journey.
Ah,
Um,
so he saw the transition.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I put years on us. We've been married 30 years. I just thought about it.
Okay.
Thank
Uh-huh.
God, thank God I got that right. We're married 30 years because he's 28 years old. And
Ah, okay.
so he saw it all, right? And
Right.
he is cool for him because he saw the progress. My daughters,
Right.
they like, hey, whatever.
They
This is
were
dad.
born into it.
Yeah, this is dad's job. That's not really a big deal to us. So I love the fact that to them, I'm just dad. I'm not an artist. I'm not a pastor. I'm their father. And I take that job more seriously than I take any other one.
And I ask you that because kids will keep you humble.
Yes. Yes.
They will also keep you very honest, but I feel like they also keep you very connected to younger generations. And so I'm curious to know, what would you say is the biggest issue plaguing our young people?
Um, the biggest issue is the biggest blessing. And
Mm,
it's at the same time, it's information.
hmm
They have access to everything. The information we would have to learn through years of study, they have
hmm
at their fingertips. And while that's a great blessing, they also have access to put their life and make it on social media and make it somebody else's information. They also
mm,
have the ability to compare what they have, what they know, who they are, how they look to others who probably have worked very hard and create great perceptions, which may not be reality, but they measure their reality against somebody else's perception. And I think
mm.
and I think that's really tough because now they build these insecurities within themselves because they're comparing themselves to what they see every day. So while information is a blessing, sometimes this information is very real to us, but it's false for somebody else. So I think that's the biggest challenge, because our children, the young people, are really developing a level of insecurity that I haven't seen for many years.
So, I think you're so absolutely right because I feel like my generation was really one of the last generations that came up without all that. I
Yeah.
got my first cell phone a freshman in college, right?
Wow.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter who daily asks for a phone, and
Right.
I proudly say no. And so it's just interesting. And she's coming out of elementary school. So it's very interesting to see the shift in that particular dynamic. Without getting, we don't necessarily discuss politics, but obviously all eyes are on our area because of the takeover that's taking place right now. And I'm curious to know um, how the church collectively is navigating what is taking place in our own backyard. And I know your church is based in Maryland,
Yes.
but still, we are all experiencing this.
Well, our church is in Capitol Heights and it's right on the DC Maryland line. So we literally have half of the church in DC, half of the church in Maryland. So we're very much affected by what's happening. We have some Capitol Police that are members of the church. We have a few MPDs that are members of the church. So we're definitely experiencing it. And my only concern would be that in efforts to make what others deem as safe, make others feel safe, there are a group of people who now feel unsafe. Uh,
Mm,
and that's the concern because safety is um, is measurable based on different cultures and dynamics. And I can say for our culture, while we want to feel like we can walk down the street without, different levels of different violent acts happening. By the same
mhm.
token, we also want to feel secure with those who are securing us. And that's really where it's a rub because for our culture, it's, sometimes we don't feel as secure with the people who are providing security. So
Mm.
that's why it's a little nervous in the city and in the church. And again, for us, the church's response is have faith in God,
Mhm.
and trust
Always.
him. Yeah, trust him even throughout this season of uncertainty. Because we've dealt with, I mean, many levels of uncertainty within if you're thinking about the last 5 years, we have experienced so much, yet the church has been consistent and we found ways to fellowship and gather in spite of very hard times. So we're going to continue to do that, and we're going to continue to point people to God because he's the only one you can have full security in.
Everyone who comes on the good word, we always ask them this question. And I'm actually very excited to ask you the same question because I'm curious to know what your answer is. We want to know, what would you say for folks who are listening, folks who are watching us on Fox Local, on demand? We're everywhere. But what would you say is the good word?
The good word is it's not over.
Ooh,
It's not
I
over.
felt that in my soul.
It's not whatever you're in. There is an opportunity for there to be a turnaround, and
Mm.
there's so many instances. And I don't. I mean, of course, I could go to the Bible, but I can say based on my own life how there were seasons where I thought I was at the end, and
You
in
see, I
the
started rocking back and forth. Started
in the ninth
rocking.
hour, somehow, some way, there was a turnaround. So no matter what you're in, no matter what's going on, you have to believe that it's not over.
I love it. I love it. And where can people follow along on your journey if they want to find out the latest and greatest and stay connected with you?
Sure, I'm on Instagram at JJ Hairston, JJ Hairston. Facebook is Youthful Praise. We're on TikTok. I'm only sharing messages though, because I can't dance like that anymore. But
Uh-huh. You
that's
mean you can't choreograph the choir
No,
moves?
I can't do it anymore. I tried. It's not working. But I'm on TikTok, and of course, we're all over. Our music is on all the digital platforms. We just released a record that's out now. It's called Youth for Praise, the live reunion. So we'd love for you to support that, and anything we're doing, we'd love to have. And our church is called the Gathering Place DC. It's at Gathering Place DC on Instagram.
I love it. I love it. JJ Hairston, a Grammy Award-winning gospel singer, pastor. Thank you so, so much for spending some time with us here on the Good Word series. We look forward to seeing you at the 11th annual Ubiquitous Women's Expo. I'm gonna try to pull up. I
Please
don't go outside
do.
like that. I don't go outside like that, but I'm gonna try to stop by. It sounds like it's gonna be a wonderful event. And I know that there are so many lives that your message will touch and impact. And we're just happy that you were able to share some jewels and nuggets with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate the time.